Hi, guys. Hi there, Carol. How are you, sister? So good to see you. So good to see you. Let me get this. Sister, so good to see you. Alrighty. We are ready. There we go. Is Daryl here? I don't know. He's usually the first one in, isn't he? When he's here, he's usually first one pops in. He's not here yet, I don't think. Anyway, God is good. God is good. So we have quite a bit of headlines to cover, guys, today. A whole bunch. Rachel, when she pops back up, I'll let her do the two articles she's going to do. See. Share these out. Welcome to the Truth Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude, and we have just a few today to get into. We're starting off the week, I guess you could say, craziest of crazies. So much is happening. We've got news updates on hurricane and more stuff happening in Hawaii. We just got lots to do. Okay, so hi there, Tanya. How are you? He was in Lois's fleet. Awesome. I know it's coming his way. It's coming Lewis's way, not Daryl's. Daryl lives here. But anyway, I do understand. I do have quite a bit of information for that too. But I'm going to let Rachel do her little articles. We'll pull them up so you guys can look at her articles. We just got to find them. Here it is. This one. And then this one. It's underneath of it. There we go. All right. Here it is. Rachel. Rachel to the rescue. She speaks in.
How do I pronounce that word?
Bangladesh. Which word? The Bangladesh.
Bangladesh reports 8 more dengue deaths. 2,331 others hospitalized in 24 hours.
That's a whole lot of people there. 2,331 hospitalized, guys, in a 24-hour period. Wow.
That's too many people.
That is too many people.
8 more deaths were reported from dengue in 24 hours till Monday morning, rising the fatalities from the mosquito-borne disease in Bangladesh to 556 in the ongoing year. During the period 2031, more patients were hospitalized with the viral fever, according to the Directorate General at Health Services. Of the new patients, 918 were admitted to hospitals in Dhaka.
That sounds good to me, girl.
And the rest outside it. According to DGHS, a total of 8,212 dengue patients, including 3,913 the capital, are now receiving treatment at hospitals across the country. So far, the DGHS has
recorded
16,842 dengue cases, 10,874 recoveries. The country logged 281 dengue deaths in 2022, the highest on record after 179 deaths recorded in 2019. Also recorded 62 million.
No, 62,000.
62,423 dengue cases and 61 million thousand
recoveries.
last year.
Okay, go to your next article.
No, thank you.
There you go.
Biden plans to ask Congress for funding to develop a new vaccine may require shot for all. President Biden said Friday he plans to request additional funding from Congress for the development of a new COVID-19 vaccine, adding he may require everyone to take it, regardless of it they previously received a vaccine or not. Biden, who is vaccinating in the Lake
Tahoe. Vacationing, not vaccinating. Vacationing.
Hey, it's on the topic.
It is.
Area was asked by a reporter on Friday if he could say anything about the uptick of COVID cases and a new variant. Yes, I can, the president said. I signed off this morning on a proposal we have.
A proposal.
Who was he proposing to? We have
to Congress.
When did he do that? We have to present to Congress a request for additional. How can I read that word?
Request.
That one. I can't.
Oh no.
Funding for a new vaccine that is necessary. That works. He added that
Tentatively.
it is recommended that it will likely be recommended everybody get it no matter whether they've gotten it before or not. Excuse me. A $40 million funding request to Congress from the White House on August 11th did not mention coronavirus money, but included money for Ukraine, U.S. federal disaster funds, and funds to bolster the enforcement. I said entrance along the U.S.-Mexico border to slow the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. In 2022, the Biden administration requested $9.25 billion to fight the virus, but Congress lawmakers refused the request. The Associated Press said officials are expecting an updated COVID-19 vaccine containing one version of the Omicron strain called 1B XBB 1.5. The new vaccine is a charge from today's combination. What do I call that? Flavors, which makes the original coronavirus strain with last year's most common Omicron variations. As corona continues to mutate, there will always be a need to update vaccines. Next month, people will begin to receive the annual fall COVID-19 sliver as Professor Pfizer,
Professional Pfizer.
Moderna, and These are some unique names.
They are. Novavax.
Are working on doses of the XBB update.
All righty. Thank you so very much, ma'am.
You're not welcome.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. It's 81 degrees here today in lovely Indiana.
Indiana is not lovely.
I hear you, Ryan, brother. I hear you. Absolutely just crazy, isn't it? Okay, guys. So we're going to move on to some other headlines here. She likes doing the little couple of little headlines, so we're going to let her do those couple of little headlines. But anyway, we got lots of things to talk about, so we're going to kind of try and get through this together. We also have a major crisis with a border incident, a final letter from Poland and the Baltic states to Belarus. They demand that the Wagner's forces leave the country. Yeah, right? Yeah. So we can just demand anybody to leave, right? We can make all the demands we want, but do you think the Wagner group is really going to pay attention? I don't know about y'all, but I don't think so. Wow, that's crazy, Daryl. I've been watching. I'll tell you, the person to be watching is the Hawaii real estate. He is really good. He's there and he's trying to bring you as much footage, I think, as possible. I know that new diet just has me sounding so young. I know, and then all of a sudden, it kicks back into old me. Sorry, doesn't last long. Anyway. Okay, so let's continue on. We're going to get into this stuff tonight. Poland and the Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia recently delivered an ultimatum to Belarus, demanding that Wagner forces leave the country and remove the thousands of illegal immigrants who have gathered along the border. In fact, Poland and the Baltic states directly threaten the Minsk with immediate retaliation in the event of critical event as the typical state. In practice, that means War News 247 has already reported the beginning of the land block of the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad in Belarus. Poland and the Baltic states will completely close their borders with Belarus if there is a critical incident involving Wagner mercenaries, Polish Interior Minister Mariusz Kamiński said today. European member states Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland, which share borders with Belarus, are increasingly concerned about border security after mercenaries from the Wagner Group arrived in Belarus at the attention of President Alexander Lukashenko. Poland has been also seen in an increase in the number of migrants, mainly in the Middle East and Africa, trying to cross the border in recent months and has accused Belarus of facilitating them. As the head of the Polish Ministry of Interior, Kamiński said the situation on the border with Belarus is worsening every day, and there are several thousands PMC Wagner fighters in the area. We demand that the authorities in Minsk, that the Wagner Group immediately leave the territory of Belarus, and that the illegal immigrants immediately leave the border area and be sent back to their countries, Kamiński said at a press conference. If there is a critical incident, regardless of whether it is on the Polish or Lithuanian border, we will immediately retaliate. All border crossing points that are open until now will be closed, he said. At the same time, Lithuania's interior ministries will propose to the government that they close 2 of the 4 remaining border crossing points with Belarus. And BNS news agency reported today, citing a statement by Lithuania Interior Minister Agni Biltait. Lithuania's government announced on August 16th the closure of the other 2 border crossing with Belarus, reducing their number to 4 from 6 previously, citing geopolitical conditions week after members of the Russian mercenary group Wagner fled to Belarus. A group of about 20 illegal immigrants allegedly tried to attack a patrol of Polish border guards from the Belarusian side, the Polish border guard said. According to the Polish security forces, the incident took place in the Dubik Beni area. The border patrol was doing their job when they attacked by 20 people. Some of the attackers were armed with guns, sticks, and stones. One of the migrants allegedly aimed a gun at the Polish border guards, according to Warsaw. According to the Polish authorities, at least 60 migrants have tried to enter Poland in the last 24 hours. After the death of Prigozhin, we should not expect the weakening and collapse of Wagner PMC. On the contrary, this organization can become even more dangerous, said the Polish Prime Prime Minister Morawiecki. The head of the Polish government said that the Wagner will now be under full control of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Furthermore, the PMC Wagner will operate solely in the interest of the Kremlin. Oversight in the Wagner Group goes directly to President Putin. Let everyone answer for themselves whether the Wagner Group, based in Belarus, is now becoming a greater or a lesser threat, Morawiecki said. As the head of the Polish government noted, Wagner will now be used for a variety of hostile actions to undermine the security policy of neighboring countries. Let me see. Yeah, I got it.
Citgo terminal at Port Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I got it.
29.
I got it. Undermine the security policy. Blockade at the Belarus-Lithuanian border. The State Border Committee of Belarus claims that the Lithuanian border guards deliberately slow down the process of crossing the border of the two countries and do not take measures to improve the situation. It is recalled that Lithuania closed the two border checkpoints, while today it announced that it will close two more. So again, you guys know we're going to keep our eye on that situation. If anything breaks off, I definitely will let you know. Hey, Walter, how are you, brother? Let's see. Make sure I said hey to everyone. I think I did. Walter, Ryan, Tanya, Rip Curl, and Carol, and Brody. How are you guys? Daryl, hello, darling. And then Deanna. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? Good to see everybody. Alrighty. Let's continue on with the next article, guys. Then we have from Al Jazeera. They have said that Russia, let's see, so you can see here, Russia says they intercepted 2 U.S. drones near Crimea. Russia scrambles 2 jets to counter U.S. drones near Crimea Ministry. The Russia has scrambled 2 fighter jets to ward off 2 U.S. drones flying over the Black Sea near the Russian annexed Crimea. The Russian Ministry of Defense says it said the drones were conducting intelligence but left the area once the fighter jets were deployed. So I guess not much to report outside of, I guess we're getting very brazen. They do the same to us, though. So I guess it's no reason for alarm, huh? We'll probably be hearing a whole lot of stuff like that, right? We know that they've incurged over into Alaskan airspace all the time. And yeah, things just getting kind of crazy. We also have Syria. This is from Reuters. Syria says Israeli attack puts Aleppo airport out of service. So on August 28th, an Israeli air attack put Syria's Aleppo airport out of service on Monday, the Syrian Defense Ministry said, while the regional intelligence sources said an Iranian arms depot was hit. The Israeli enemy carried out an air attack targeting the Aleppo International Airport. The aggression caused material damage to the airport's runway and to put it out of service, a military source said. The Israeli military declined to comment. The 2 regional intelligence sources said that the attack targeted an underground munitions depot run by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps within the compound of the Narab military airport next to Aleppo Airport. Narab military airport, which has been used regularly for Iranian arms delivery and the movement of troops, was repeatedly hit by Israel in previous strikes, they said. Israel has intensified strikes on Syrian airports and the air bases in particular to disrupt Iran's use of aerial supply lines to deliver arms to the allies, including Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah, which has also deployed fighters to back the Syrian president of Bashar al-Assad. Iran's militias, led by Hezbollah, have a strong foothold in Aleppo's province when they maintain several major bases and extensively support paramilitary groups that operate there. Damascus denies the allegations that Iran's whose top military officials frequently visit Syria, have signed deals to supply advanced weapons, has extensive presence in the country, saying they've only have military advisors who help its armed forces. Fighters allied to Iran, including Hezbollah, now hold sway in vast areas in eastern, southern, and northern eastern Syria and several suburbs around the capital. Anyway, There you go, guys. That's what's going on in Syria and Israel. We also have from Times of Israel here, guys. This seems to be like, I mean, this isn't the first, I guess you could say, political candidate killed here lately. But it seems like if we can't win elections, we're either putting them in jail or trying to put them in jail, or we are killing them, right? That seems to be the motto here lately, and it's no different here in Israel. 4 killed, including a mayoral candidate amid the spiraling gun violence in Arab community. 4 people were gunned down Tuesday, one of them a mayoral candidate in the northern town of Abu Sanan, as a deadly crime surge in Arab communities continue to shatter the record homicide numbers set over the past few years. The mass shooting came after the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu again called to involve the Shin Bet Internal Security Agency in combating violent crime in the Arab locales, following the killing of Tira's municipal director a day earlier. Netanyahu's office later announced that the ministerial panel tasked with fighting against crime in Arab community would convene on Wednesday. The Megan David Adam ambulance service said the paramedics declared that 4 dead at the scene after finding them in a field. Police announced an investigation and said officers were headed to Abu Sanan to gather evidence. One of the victims was named as Gazu Zahab, who was running for the mayor in the upcoming municipal elections. Sahab was the former IDF officer and border police officer, and in recent years operated a business in Abu Sanan. Hartz reported. The other fatalities were identified as his relatives, Zohar al-Dana Sahab and Amir Sahab, along with Salman Halabi of Yarka. So, guys, here we have somebody that was running for mayor, killed. Then we also, not this yet. Then we also have Alexia something, I don't know. Petrov, I guess is how you say his name. In Bulgaria, a prominent Bulgarian businessman whose roller coaster career reflected his country's transition from communism to democracy was shot dead in broad daylight on Wednesday, police said. Police said that Alexei Petrov died on the spot after being shot by a person unknown around noon in the suburb of the capital of Sofia. Now, guys, I'm only sharing this. This is last week's headline, obviously, but I'm sharing this because I'm trying to show you what's happening to people's opponents here lately. They are either being, arraigned, arrested, or, killed. And this other article, the one in Israel, I think it was today's article. We'll go back and take a gander at it real quick. It was the 22nd. But still, we're talking within the last week. We've had how many people killed? Absolutely crazy, right? Anyway, we shall continue on. We also have Hal Turner with the ambassadors of France ordered to leave Niger but refuse. Guess you didn't see that coming, did we? The military of Junta, which seized control of the African nation of Niger, declared that the ambassadors to France as a persona non grata, the original Latin term for unwanted person in diplomatic circles. That is how a country ejects an unwanted ambassador from its land, except the French ambassador refuses to leave. The ambassador says that the military junta is not the legitimate government of Niger, and so it does not have the authority to declare him a persona non grata. As such, he refuses to leave. Now this gets interesting. A foreign embassy is protected by diplomatic treaties and is the sovereign territory of the country it represents, in this case, France. If Niger were to use military police to force to enter the embassy, to physically eject the ambassador, that could be a cause for a belly, cause for war. So what did the military junta of Niger do? They cut off the embassy electric and water supply. This ought to be interesting. Fast now, that embassy staff can't flush toilets, take showers, or make coffee, etc. I would dare say that is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Who will budge? I think the man will leave. I don't know what you think, but what do you tell me? Let me know in the comment in the sections below if you're not in chat. They have to repair the asphalt plants. Hey, Watchman, how are you? Okay, so then we also have, now we're going to talk about Florida business and the hurricane. We have from Hal Turner, the Florida warning major hurricane landfall for Wednesday, guys. This thing came, I mean, they just got it maybe 2 days ago? I think we covered it Friday, maybe a couple more than 2 days ago. But anyway, all those systems that we saw that were, working their way up. Anyway, National Hurricane Center forecasters are now saying that Tropical Storm Idalia, I guess that's how you say it, will be a major Category 3 or higher hurricane when it makes landfall on Wednesday morning on Florida's west coast near Tampa, based on the 5 p.m. NHC forecast advisory. Here is the prep timeline for Idalia. Because the storm is expected to accelerate in the Eastern Gulf, the times of arrival have moved up a bit for Tampa Bay. Plan to have outdoor activities, preps wrapped up by that time. So I guess it's going to be kind of crazy. Based on Sundays, it'll be there Wednesday, right? Right. So here's the National Hurricane Center. Here are the Monday key messages for Tropical Storm Idalia. The system is forecast to become a dangerous major hurricane over the northeast Gulf of Mexico early Wednesday. Hurricane warnings could be issued for portions of Florida later today. And that's what they've said. And then we have, you can see this here, at 1 a.m. Tuesday, and then 1 a.m. Wednesday, and then this is 1 p.m. Wednesday. So all the way up to Georgia by that time on Wednesday, guys. So we definitely will be keeping an eye out there. But guys, there's a lot of stuff taking place in Florida right now. We have bad gas. This is from CW69 Atlanta. Florida officials warn of bad gas sold at some Tampa area gas stations. Guys, that's not going to get you out of Dodge, is it? The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services said they found a potentially widespread problem with gas at some stations supplied by Citgo from the port of Tampa. This could be important as people fuel up for either generators or in order to drive away from the area ahead of the tropical storm Idalia. Fuel purchased after 10 a.m. on Saturday, August 26, has been identified as having a strong likelihood of being contaminated if it came from the station that sources their fuel from Citgo at the port of Tampa. The state has identified these Florida gas stations are being involved. Big Dan's Car Wash, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, and 7-Eleven. And these are the let's see, I guess I should give the holiday here. This is in Holiday, this is Lithia, and this is in Lake Acres. 7-Eleven in Fort Myers, 7-Eleven in Lakeland, 7-Eleven in North Cape Coral, 7-Eleven in Cape Coral, 7-Eleven in Brooksville, 7-Eleven also in Lee Acres again, but this one is at 1626 Meadow Road. Plant City 7-Eleven, Cape Coral 7-Eleven, Zephyrus, and then 7-Eleven at 714 Blunt Road, Cape Coral, BJ's Wholesale, Cape Coral, BJ's Wholesale, Fort Myers, BJ's Wholesale, Lady Lakes, Handy Food Store. There's a lot, guys. I'm not, anyway, so it says, please note, under the state and federal law, the FDAS must rely on Citgo to provide the list of impacted gas stations. Consumers should be aware that the company may update this list. The FDACS will also update this list as necessary as a result of increased fuel testing in the impacted areas. Contaminated fuel could seriously damage engines or generators that it comes in contact with. The affected stations have been asked to stop selling the fuel until their gas has been replaced and their tanks have been cleaned. Once the stations are cleared, or have completed a corrective action plan fuel will once again be safe for purchase, the state agency said. Those who believe they may have been sold the contaminated gas can file a complete with the Florida state authorities by going to this www.fdacs.gov or call 1-800-HELP-FLA. Guys, to me, that sounds like, maybe some people, I just know from past experiences of being in areas that have been hit by hurricanes. That's not good. That is not good, guys. I mean, people are trying to, get gas, get maybe out of Dodge. Some people are trying to get out of Dodge, but some people are prepping and some people stay. My husband was one of them people that we always had to stay. We did not leave. But that makes for a horrifiable, for one, you have to go and probably, you're not going to, I don't see you getting your money back immediately, but crazier things have happened. I just see that this is going to be a huge problem for people that are trying to, one, maybe leave. So it looks like people may be stuck there like Chuck, especially if it messes up their engine, right? I don't know, guys. It's absolutely, it's horrifiable, the things that are taking place. If I wasn't reading these articles, I wouldn't believe it. It's like, what the heck is going on? I mean, like, people can't prepare. They're, and I'm sure that that list probably will grow. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, most definitely, Watchman. That's where this is going, 100%. I mean, if you've been, a lot of you guys have been following me, you know that we've been covering the fires. There was a fire in a refinery in Garyville, Louisiana, that supposedly that one is going to be shut down, is what I'm hearing, because due to the fire, and that is one of the third U.S. largest oil supplier. I mean, yeah, you've got things like that. The gas is going to take a hike. They're going to say that they're trying to get gas to Florida. So yeah, guys, I would say if you can top off right now. I mean, just saying, because if you have the means, I'll tell you, when we went to go get gas to this afternoon, the gas station was really busy. You would think that we were going to have a hurricane here, the way that as full as the gas pumps were. I'm telling you, it was pretty busy. It is indeed, Carol. It is absolutely. I believe it. Sabotage, 100%, Kevin. Anyway, and then of course, they can't leave by car if their car is messed up, if they got the bad gas, right? Hopefully they didn't get the bad gas, but or if they get it caught in time. So if their car is messed up, they can't leave. If hopefully they have another car, and they don't go to those places to get gas again. But here we have the international airport closing early. It's Tuesday ahead of the potential major hurricane. Now, guys, this is not a big deal. They close airports, all the time when there's hurricanes coming in. So there's no worry. But the mere fact that you've got, contaminated gas, the airport closing, and everything else. I mean, my goodness sakes. It's going to get really bad there, guys. Tampa International Airport will suspend all commercial operations between 12:01 Tuesday ahead of the tropical storm Idalia, with the airport remaining closed until it can assess any damages later in the week. The closure will allow the airport and its partners to repair the airfields and terminals, including securing the jet bridges, ground equipment, and any remaining aircraft before Idalia's expected landfall early Wednesday as a potential major hurricane. Some cargo and private aircraft operations could continue overnight, but all air traffic will cease by 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. So, guys, and here we are, Monday. So, this is like the fastest system. I mean, yeah, we've had, I think, when was it we got that word about the 5 storms, guys? Tuesday, Thursday last week. but we didn't have projection, and now we have projection, and it's coming in so quick. This is really crazy, absolutely crazy. And I'm telling you, we've been in Florida for hurricanes, we've been in Texas for hurricanes, we've been in Alabama for hurricanes. It's like it's just crazy. I hear you, Kevin. I hear you. It is. It is harder, Watchman. And that I'm going to put that up here because I want everyone to see that. It is harder to drain these new fuel tanks on newer cars. It really is. They're making this to be, I mean, my heart goes out for the people in Florida tonight, guys. So you can bet that Renee tonight, her prayers are going to be focused on Florida, guys. And God's children there. We've got to be, I'm just, and I have friends, but luckily I don't think my friends live up in the Tampa Bay area. But this is going to go over where my family is in Jacksonville. My sister and my niece and my my aunt and my stepson all live in Jacksonville, guys. So we will definitely be keeping our eyes and our ears open to the situation. And I pray, I don't know what my niece is going to do, but I'm going to call her later. And you top off every Friday. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And that is a good thing to do. We we do a lot of traveling across town, so we kind of try and keep it above the half a tank, and so we get gas just about every day, but we might have to put just a little bit extra in it just in case, right? Just in case. But yeah, things are getting kind of crazy here, guys. Absolutely. Anyway, thank you for that. Yeah, that definite huge tip on that, because people, you have to be, kind of selective. And it happens. Not to say that you can't be going to some gas station that you've been to for years and years and get bad gas, because you can, because it does happen, but it is crazy. Okay, so then we also have from the Jerusalem Post, almost 5,000 U.S. pilots probed for flying despite disqualifying conditions. Yeah, guys. Is that kind of crazy? Disqualifying disabilities. It says nearly 5,000 U.S. pilots, all of whom are military veterans, reported falsified medical records to work as pilots while collecting benefits for disqualifying disabilities. Wow, wow, wow. Lordy, lordy, lordy. To apply for these military veteran pilots are being investigated for falsifying medical records to apply for work as a pilot while having health issues that would have made them unfit for flying, the Washington Post reported. This was discovered over 2 years ago when the Veterans Affairs investigators spotted inconsistencies in a federal database with the pilots in question collecting benefits for mental health disorders and other conditions. However, the Federal Aviation Authority has kept much of the case under wraps, according to the Post. According to experts cited in the report, the issue highlights longstanding vulnerabilities in the FAA system for screening pilots, as well as the issue of veterans maximizing the extent of their health issue to Veteran Affairs officials for disability payments. Pilots allegedly falsified medical records isn't the only scandal plaguing the FAA. According to the recent report in New York Times, near misses between airplanes and U.S. skies happen far more often than previously thought. In fact, they often happen every day and are almost always due in some part to human error. Imagine. Only a fraction of these near misses incidents that nearly became deadly aircraft collisions were ever actually shared with the public. The reason for this is, according to the report, is the sheer lack of proper air traffic controllers in the U.S., with only a select few air control facilities being at full capacity. The situation is so dire that the controllers are working mandatory overtime hours 6 days a week, with the controllers union telling ABC News that the current situation is unsustainable. Guys, I'm telling you, you couldn't pay me at this point juncture to fly. Just saying. You just couldn't. If I can't get there by car, I am not going. Just saying. Anyway, Here we have some more Maui headlines. This here is from End Time Headlines. Round 2, more fires in Maui cause evacuations than near the site of Lahaina wildfires that killed 115. Just weeks after the deadly wildfires devastated Maui brush fires on Saturday again sparked evacuations and fears for the local residents already trying to rebuild their lives. Saturday afternoon, Hawaii Governor Josh Green issued an area alert with an evacuation order for parts of Kanapola, which is just one town over from Lahaina. Evacuate your family and pets now. Do not delay. Accept conditions that may make driving difficult and watch for public safety personnel operating in the area, wrote Green in a follow-up alert. Around 12:45, the fire broke out close to Kanapola Resort area where many Lahaina families are now staying. By 2:45 p.m., Maui County Alert stated that the firefighters had stopped forward progress of the fire. No additional threats or evacuation orders are in place. We will provide updates as information becomes available. The area is near where the wildfires destroyed a town and left 115 people dead. Another 300 people are still missing as search crews continue to scour the area. The evacuation order was lifted at 5 p.m. when the fire had been 90% contained. Power was restored to the area by 7. There were no reports of injuries or damage caused by the blaze. Famed actor and Hawaii native Jason Momoa posted a video of the brush fire to his Instagram account on Saturday. The video showed a car driving along the road and the fire burning on the hillside. Lee Casco, 34, said Saturday warnings triggered her flight mode as she packed her car, including children. Casco and her extended family lost 5 apartments and 1 single-family home in the Lahaina fire. She told the Honolulu Star Advertiser the weekend alerts and evacuation orders prompted flashbacks and PTSD to their experience on August 8th. My 3 boys were crying, she said. Once she and her children were out of harm's way, her stress transformed into anger at the emergency response authorities used on Saturday. That was nowhere to be found earlier this month. They put on the sirens and alerts to cell phones, which they didn't do when Lahaina burned, Casco said. But all of a sudden, they do it now. The warning sirens notably did not go off during the first Maui blaze, were heard all around West Maui on Saturday afternoon. The cause of the brush fire is still under investigation. The weekend response was led by Daryl Oliveira, the interim director of the Maui Emergency Management Agency. He is named to the post Friday. His predecessor, Herman Hadaya, resigned on August 17th. After questions of his background and the response to the deadly fires, he defended his decision not to activate the county's civil defense sirens during the 1,000-degree blaze that killed at least 115 people. Now, guys, are you noticing they're saying only 115 in this article, which, that's... I would say is inaccurate from what has been reported on other areas and other places. But anyway, then we also have this Gateway article that says Maui officials reveal the cause of the devastating wildfires blowing up the leftist Democrats' climate change narrative. This is from the Gateway Pundit. As Fox News reported, officials in Maui said the fires were caused by downed power lines and failures by the state main power utility company. Due to these facts, the government of Maui County, Hawaii has filed a lawsuit against the Hawaii Electric Company and its subsidiaries for neglecting to properly power down live electrical equipment amid a red flag windstorm earlier this month. Because of this occurrence, downed power lines operated by the utility company sparked the series of deadly fires on the island. Maui County released the following statement regarding the lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that the defendants acted negligently by failing to power down the electrical equipment despite a National Weather Service red flag warning on August 7th. The lawsuit further alleges that the HECO's energized and downed power lines ignited dry fuels such as grass and brush, causing the fires. The lawsuit also alleges failure to maintain the system and the power grid, which caused the systematic failures, starting 3 different fires on August 8th. Moreover, Maui County said the HECO had a duty to properly maintain and repair the electric transmission lines and other equipment, including utility poles associated with the transmission of electricity, and to keep vegetation properly trimmed and maintained so as to prevent contact with overhead power lines, and other electrical equipment. These facts revealed in this lawsuit poured cold water on the claims by national Hawaii state Democrats that the fires were caused by climate change. As Christina Lala previously reported, Hawaii Governor Josh Green went on CBS Face the Nation last week and blamed climate change for amplifying the fires. White House Clean Energy Caesar John Podesta not only blamed climate change for the devastating wildfires, but he touted that the so-called Inflation Reduction Act as a solution. Far-left Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush demanded Joe Biden declare a climate emergency. According to Fox News, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, the senator majority whip, said the wildfires were a devastating view of our planet as we fail adequately to address the climate crisis. Do not expect any apologies coming from these fools who sought to capitalize on the tragedy before families had a chance to heal. They will wait for the next crisis and try to ensure it does not go to waste. Exactly. And we can see with this hurricane already coming in and the things that are, taking effect in there, it'll be that they're not going to waste too many more opportunities, are they, guys? We also have here, like I was talking about, that refinery fire and chemical release at Gary Oil Refinery triggers 2-mile evacuation. The chemical release in Fire Marathon Petroleum Refinery prompted a mandatory evacuation Friday for part of Garyville, with people living and working within 2-mile radius, as well as students from at least 2 schools ordered to leave. About 8,660 people live within 2 miles of the oil refinery, according to the U.S. Census Bureau data. The fire started about 7 a.m. and burned for much of the day, sending up a huge plume of black smoke that was visible for miles. The evacuation order was lifted just after 2 p.m. St. John Baptist Parish officials said the fire, which damaged 2 tanks, was under control by then, according to Marathon officials. Although firefighters were still checking for flare-ups, intermittent smoke, the company said. The fire itself had remained within a containment area in the refinery grounds, despite smoke drifting far beyond. The burning material was naphtha, a liquid hydrocarbon mixture used by a component to make gasoline. Marathon spokesperson Justin Lawrence said naphtha is considered hazardous by Federal Occupational Safety and Health Administration because it is extremely flammable, irritating to the eyes and respiratory system, and harmful or fatal if swallowed. Well, imagine that being released, huh? Yeah, who needs to breathe these days, right? Come on, guys. By midday, parents had lined up to pick up their children at East High School in nearby Reserve. The school is outside the evacuation zone, but some parents who live within had to leave. Students at Riverside Academy Reserve was evacuated there as well, while students from Garyville, Mount Airy Math and Science Magnet School were taken to Lake Pontchartrain Elementary in Law Place. LaShonda Melchon, 42 of the Reserve, was waiting in her car to pick up her 14-year-old niece at East St. John. She said she found out on Facebook that she had to evacuate, but was hesitant to go to the public shelter because that would be terrible. I've got to figure it out, she said, as her niece arrived and jumped into the passenger seat. I've got asthma bad, and this is not good for me. I don't think it's good for anybody. And just saying, I'm not even in Louisiana, guys. Anyway, so then we also have where am I at, guys? Okay, just for those that maybe was not here earlier. And they will indeed, Watchmen. They will change the angle 100%. And I hear you, Rip Curl. Like I said, we know that these are, I'm telling you, brother, I'm going to put your thing up there, your comment. I 100% agree with you, brother. We know that they are twisting these headlines. They have a narrative to put out, it's absolutely crazy, guys. Anyway, now we're talking about cars, guys. So, which is a good thing to talk about considering the situation in Florida right now, right? And I'll tell you, we here at one point in time thought that everybody was getting some bad gas because not just us, but people that we knew in other states, we were all having car issues, and it just didn't sound right. Anyway, Rachel covered this lovely article about Biden seeking more funds for the new sleeper and requiring everyone, not just those that have already had it, but requiring everyone to take it. I don't know how he can do that, but we'll move on. And then this here article here, she covered also with 2,331 deaths in 300, not deaths, guys, hospitalizations in 24 hours in Bangladesh, and 8 more deaths from the Dunge death. This here, guys, I'm telling you, and this is mosquitoes. And all I keep thinking about is all those stupid mosquitoes they released, and they release every year, right? And here we have all these sicknesses from mosquitoes. And we actually know someone that got the West Nile. And I'll tell you, it is, it's alarming. All of these mosquito-borne illnesses, knowing all this stuff that has taken place. Anyway, be careful. I'll tell you, I have a recipe with some neem oil. I don't know, you guys can't see that. I have a recipe for some neem oil. I'll have to find it. That's safe for your dog, not for cats. I wouldn't use it on the cat, but you could use it on your dog and you can use it on yourself. So, and it works. Everybody that's used it here has not gotten bit by anything. And we also have off, and I think it works better than the off. Just saying. Oh no, you heard that Boo got banned? What did he get banned for? He doesn't do too much. Yeah, not the West Nile, right? I hear you, brother. Anyway, so then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to this one here. Okay, so here we have from Gateway Pundit, the government overreach in Virginia, an Amish farmer livelihood on the line following the government raid and seizure of property. Please help and donate. The Fisher family farm, a source of healthy food of local consumers in Virginia, was raided by the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Samuel B. Fisher, who runs Golden Valley Farms, lost his livestock and meat processing facility as the state condemned and seized his property. The act has resulted in not just loss of income, but also a crisis of trust in a community that prides itself on independence and sustainable farming. Golden Valley Farms has been serving around 500 consumers through its farm membership program. They have a website if you want to go check it out. But we are the family farm located in Farmville, Virginia, in Cumberland County. Although we hail from generations of dairy and cattle farmers and program we established in 2019, our young children help gather, wipe, and pack the chicken and duck eggs for you. We produce 100% grass-fed raw milk from Golden Jersey cows and goats. Our dairy herd comprises 100% registered and A2 beta casein Jersey cows and La Mancha and Nubian goats. Golden Valley Farms operate a herd of share program. A herd share is a contractual agreement between a farmer and an owner of livestock. The shareholder or member, though, which the shareholder is able to obtain raw milk, meat, or other profits off the livestock proportionate to the shareholder's interest in the herd. All of the products are organic, non-GMO, and soy-free. The farmer produces food following Weston Price principles, including rotational grazing, no antibiotics or growth hormones, and farming beyond organic standards. We belong to a limited number of milk producers that do not resort to feeding grain to our cows. We believe in providing them with the fresh pasture to graze on and chemical-free hay during winter. The ordeal began on June 14th when the VDACS inspector made an unannounced visit to Fisher's 100-acre farm. Fisher claims he had no idea what prompted the inspection. They came with a search warrant, Fisher told Town Hall, who later found himself embroiled in a legal battle for processing his meat on site rather than using a USDA inspected facility. The next day, officials returned with a sheriff deputy to conduct a thorough search of the farm. Fisher's meat was tagged under administrative detention, leaving him unable to sell or even consume his produce. Fisher estimates that about $10,000 worth of product were seized and dumped. What was clear, the state sought to penalize Fisher for selling meat that was not processed by a USDA inspected facility. Fisher processes an industry euphemism for butchering his farm raised meat on site and sells it directly to his customers, feeding about 500 consumers and their families who are part of Buying a Club. As members controlled in the Golden Valley Farm membership program, they've bought into Fisher's herd of 100% grass-fed golden Guernsey cows. They own part of the business. They own some of the herd. Fisher explained, my thinking was we can butcher their cows, process it, and sell it to them. I told the state all of this, but they said, no, there's no way around that. You can't do that. They've asked permission to get in here to search the farm, a request Fisher denied, and they told me we'll be back and left. The next day, on June 15th, the VDACS inspector did indeed return, this time with the Cumberland County Sheriff's deputy to serve Fisher a search warrant. They went through everything, house, every building in the barn. They just raided through everything, put their nose in everything, and wanted to know every detail of everything. They went out back trying to find all the failure they can find on a farm, which, of course, some of their stuff, which they think is wrong, is just normal stuff on a farm, Fisher stated. I wasn't on the farm at the time of the full-scale raid that lasted approximately 3 to 4 hours, Fisher added. Then the state slapped a tag on Fisher's walk-in freezer, placing the meat under administrative detention and declaring that he wasn't supposed to take any meat out of his own storage room. By the weekend, his kids were crying for scrapple, a mush of pork scraps and trimmings, a characteristic of Amish country that sat behind the door on Fisher's property that should otherwise be open and easily accessible. The following Monday, Fisher even made a special phone call asking again if that's the way it is. And as Fisher recounted, the VDAC inspector replied, yes, cannot feed your family with it, cannot do anything with it. In July, the Commonwealth of Virginia took Fisher to court, resulting in a judge-authorized seizure of his meat products, a move that Fisher described as an immediate blow to his income. On August 3rd, Fisher was criminally charged and found guilty of unlawfully possessing, selling, and transporting animals, a Class 3 misdemeanor, and was ordered to pay a fine. The case has struck a nerve with advocates for small farms and food sovereignty. A customer survey conducted by Fisher showed that 92% prefer to have the meat processed on the farm without the USDA inspection. Fisher's situation parallels that of Amos Miller in Pennsylvania, another Amish farmer targeted by authorities for similar practices. Mindy Hartbeck, the farmer's office manager, pointed out the irony. Amish people, they don't follow the rules. That's the point. So it shouldn't be surprised to somebody that an Amish person is not following the rules. They opt out of everything. They don't send their kids to school. They don't have to be involved in the military draft. They don't pay into social security systems, and they don't receive money from the social security system. Why would anybody think it would be a stretch that he wasn't getting his meat inspected by the government too? Supporters of Fisher's argue that the consumers should have the right to decide where their meats come from. They stress the traditional small-scale farming practices are not just a way of life, but also a form of resistance against industrial food systems, known for their questionable health impacts. As Fisher considers his next step, which could include legal appeals, one thing is clear: this incident has ignited a broader debate about government overreach and interference, the rights of small farmers, and the choices consumers should be allowed to make their food. Guys, my heart is broken because I think that this is definitely a government overreach. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that again, it's all about control. 100% about control.
Now, I can see where they can say that about if he's selling it to other people, but they cannot tell him that he can't slaughter and eat his own beef. You know, he should be able to feed his own family off of his cows that he processed. Because
Yeah, and
people
you should be able to sell if you have a farm and you have an excess of vegetables, you should be able to sell it on your property without the USDA coming in and inspecting it. I mean, come on. This again is about control, guys. Don't think that it's anything other than about control. That's what this is about. Oh my goodness sakes, that's horrible, Watchman. I'll put that up there. That's just horrible. That's good, Rip Curl. That is awesome. And there's no Safe Food Act. I mean, it's a small farmer. It is absolutely true. That's all it's hurting, Walter, is the small farmers. And you guys have it going on. You guys know it's all about control. It's crazy. It is crazy, crazy, crazy. Sweetheart, it said it was in Virginia, Golden Valley Farms in Virginia. Let's see, Fisher, Golden Valley Farms in Cumberland County, Farmville is where it says Farmville. It's absolutely horrible. Anyway, gosh. And then if we're not already worked up about that, this next article will probably get you all worked up too. This is from Western Journal. The FBI kills yet another American in his own home, and this time it's 100% disabled veteran. I mean, guys, for at least the second time this month, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has killed an American in his own home. What makes this most recent slaying so heinous is the status of the suspect, a man his family described as a completely disabled veteran who was unarmed when he was gunned down. On August 16th, the FBI agents executed the fatal arrest operation at a residence in Henderson, Tennessee. The noise from the early morning operation woke at least one neighbor who witnessed some of the chaos of the deadly raid. I was woken up about 6 o'clock in the morning, the neighbor Alex Morris told WBBJ TV in Jackson, Tennessee. I heard a loud bang, then I heard a couple more. I heard the loudspeakers, "Come out with your hands up with the FBI. We're not going anywhere." Before I knew it, I was coming out to see what was going on and watch them bust out their windows. I reckon they got him in there. Neighbors also reported the presence of local law enforcement, according to WBBJ, but said that the officers only arrived on the scene half an hour after the feds. According to another WBBJ report, the FBI released a statement August 16th acknowledging the fatal raid. The FBI is reviewing an agent-involved shooting which occurred today at approximately 6:40 a.m. While the FBI SWAT was conducting an arrest operation in Henderson, Tennessee, the statement said. The subject is deceased. The FBI takes all shooting incidents involving our agents or task force members seriously in accordance with the FBI policy. This shooting incident is under review by the FBI Inspection Division. As this is an ongoing matter, we have no further details to provide. Later reporting by WBBJ identified the deceased as Theodore Deschler, but did not include his age or other details. His family was left to pick up the pieces and is now speaking out about the killing. The family review of Deschler's house found multiple broken windows. Other damage to the property included a yard destroyed by heavy trucks driving over it, shattered lights, and a shot-up refrigerator. There's 3 windows up front and 2 on the side. They broke out, the victim's brother, Russell Deschler, told the outlet. They were shooting flash smoke grenades. Theodore Deschler's mother, who told WBBJ she was at home when shooting erupted, revealed the thuggish behavior she saw when the FBI agents finally made contact. According to her agents, pulled from her home, and rudely dismissed her questions in the minutes before her son was shot. The grieving mother revealed another tragic aspect: the killing. Theodore Deschler was a completely disabled veteran. It was a senseless act. You know, Teddy was 100% disabled, the veteran Deschler mother said. He had problems and he had severe PTSD. He had depression, but he was getting help for it. But this was senseless. He didn't even have a weapon on him. He was just trying to get out of the house because it was filled with tear gas. Although the FBI had been largely quiet about the incident, the family asserts Deschler was unarmed at the time he was shot. Unfortunately, the Deschlers are not the only American family mourning a death after an armed FBI raid. On August 9th, the Federal Bureau killed a man in Provo, Utah, in the course of its forceful attempt to serving a search and an arrest warrant. The 75-year-old man killed then, Craig Robertson, was alleged to have made threats towards Biden and other Democrats. The elderly man's body was left visible for hours after the shooting. Neighbors described Robertson as a teddy bear and were outraged at the killing. And there might have been yet another American killed by the FBI in August. One day before the killing of Robertson, the FBI found to have quietly executed another fatal raid, but details are being kept under wraps. So the identity and the nationality of the dead individual have not been released. On the morning of August 8th, hundreds of miles south of Utah in Albuquerque, New Mexico, an individual was shot during an armed FBI action. The Bureau has remained tight-lipped about the incident, confirming only the time of the incident and the shooting had taken place. The deadly matters in Albuquerque, Provo, and Henderson apparently still remain under investigation. While the details of Deschler's killing, as well as those Robertson's and the individual in the New Mexico, are currently being kept quiet by the FBI, it's clear the disturbing pattern is beginning to unfold in the Federal Bureau. Treatment of civilians is suspect of wrongdoing. The Americans involved and the general public both deserve more from the agencies tasked to protect them and the nation. A GoFundMe aiming to fund repairs of the Deschler's home is currently live, claiming damages to the residents will cost more than $25,000 to fix. As of late Sunday morning, Eastern Daylight Time, it's raised only $1,127. Goodness sakes, guys, that is just horrible. I mean, I just can't even imagine, guys. I can't even imagine what in the world is going on. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. I mean, just, it's crazy. I just want to know what why they were even there to begin with. I mean, what could somebody that's completely 100% disabled do? I want to know. Anyway, I'll move on because I'm going to get so upset. I'll be crying. I'll be so mad here. And then we have, there was a situation in North Carolina earlier today. Hopefully this loads, guys. But there has been an arrest made. Nope, it's down. Supposedly they caught the guy. That's the arrested. There was a situation in North Carolina. Let's pull up that article there, guys. Okay. Let's see, 34 minutes ago, we'll do, here we go. Okay, AP. A faculty member fatally shot in the University of North Carolina building. Says police said after a lockdown paralyzed the campus, a shooter killed the faculty member in the science building. Police arrested the suspect about an hour and a half. The initial reports of shots fired came from the Cottle Labs. Officials said at news conference charges were pending and the suspect was not immediately identified. The university officials also did not immediately identify the staffer who was killed and said it was too soon to offer a possible motive. Now, I will tell you that there was Raw News had a picture. So I don't know if maybe he got in trouble. I don't know why it's down. But this loss is devastating, and the shooting damages and the trust and the safety as we often take for granted on our campus, Chancellor Kevin Goshecki said. So anyway, but it does appear that they have caught him. That much is confirmed also here. So, and there was only one death. So that is a tragedy, just one. But it could have been more. And so we are grateful and thankful for that, right? There was also a helicopter down. Hopefully this is on there. and it's not taken down because that would be just horrible for us. Injuries reported after a sheriff's rescue helicopter spirals out of control and crashes into an apartment building in Pompano Beach, Florida. Pompano, I guess that's how you say it. Anyway, you can see it coming down. Crazy there. And it looks like the thing got, I mean, did it look like it? Okay, so let's look at that again, guys, because that to me looks like, I mean, how in the world does that happen? I mean, seriously, I'm going to take a picture of that. We're going to keep that up here, but how in the world does that happen? Anybody out there could give me any, I mean, Kevin, Rip Curl, Watchman, any of you guys, Walter, any of you guys, I mean, Carol, can you give me some kind of ideal how in the world that would happen? Let me see if I can blow that up so you guys can really see it. We're going to, let's see if I can get this up. Okay. So you guys can really see it because you might not be able to see as well as I was. Okay, so there it is. It's going, right? It looks, and then it looks like the tail just bent like crazy. I mean, how crazy is that, guys? And how often does that happen in flight? I'm just curious. I mean, that was crazy, wasn't it? Anyway, guys, just shocked by it, watching that. All right. So now we're going to talk about something crazy. Okay. So I have to tell you, I also have to get something else brought up here. We're going to stop sharing for just a second, guys, because I have to get this crazy. It's crazy. While we talk about this, I want this up here too. Dirt. We're going to talk about a strike that's supposed to be taking place here soon. Here we go. All right, we're going to share this out. No, it didn't look like it hit the wire. I'll go back and look at it here in a second, guys. No, it couldn't have been engine jet failure. Come on, Kevin. It looked like the tail bent. But okay, Carol, the metal will, but does the tail bend? I mean, that was crazy. Okay. Walter says the engine blew up, but the pilot tried to auto-rotate it to the ground, and I'm guessing the rotors hit the tail. Okay, I gotcha. Now, see, that makes sense. I'll play it one more time, guys. I'll play it before we go on to talk about this strike, because that was just absolutely insane there. Let me get it to load again. I've got a couple of things up, so it's probably not wanting to load. We might have to look at it here in a minute. Oh, here it goes. Okay. Let's go back. We're going to go back. I know you see the lines right there, but it didn't hit the lines. It just looked like the tail bent. I mean, it's crazy. We're going to watch that again. Crazy, 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 guys. Anyway. Absolutely crazy. All right, guys. So now we're going to go and we're going to talk about this. Oh, here you go. Wasn't even seeing it. Here I'm playing it. And y'all didn't even get to see it. Because I'm such a crackhead sometimes, y'all. Sorry. Here, I'm paused it, playing it, paused it, playing it, and y'all wasn't even watching it because you couldn't see it because dingy Renee didn't hit the share button again. Okay, so there goes. smoke. So that makes sense, Walter, what you said about the engine blowing before it did look like the tail was bent or whatever, but absolutely crazy. Anyway, so we saw it again. Play it again, Sam. We might leave that up. We might come back to it. It was too hard for it to get to load, so we'll just leave it there. Anyway, so looky here, guys. My son came to me earlier in August with this crazy thing telling me that come September 1st, people were going to go to work, people were going to strike, and you're not to buy anything, you're not to do any money, any banking, any nothing. You're not supposed to go nowhere, you're not supposed to do anything on September 1st. All of America, they want all of America to sit out on September 1st. They're thinking that they're going to make a point to Uncle Sam. I guess that's the thought behind this, right? But here it is. It says avid TikTokers users may have recently found themselves in a rabbit hole about a general strike expected to happen on September 1st. But what is it all about? In a recent clips taking over TikTok, many Americans have suggested going on a general strike against a range of economic struggles, including overpriced rent, working conditions, and grocery costs. TikTokers are urging people to do all sorts of seemingly disjointed actions. A prospective participant are being asked not to pay their rent right away, not to buy anything, and to take off from work. According to their official page, the strike is not organized by one single organization like the 2023 WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strikes. This movement is apparently comprised of a network of people committed to a general strike to radically change our country. One of the original TikTok clips came from a user, Queen Petty Lex, who vented her frustrations about the current climate in U.S. government. She went on to suggest a strike could be the answer, and her clip here is below. And my son obviously saw the clip, and let me tell you, he's not going to work on September 1st, and there's a couple of other people that are not going to go to work as well. So he's not the only person that is going to sit out on September 1st. Don't nobody show up to dang work, she yelled. They can't fire everybody. Stop paying these dang bills. We can't afford to pay the MFer anyway, so why the F are we paying them? The people need to wake up and realize we've got the power in our hands, she continued. We'll shut this down. The TikToker later followed up the clip with an encouraging so-called participants to stand outside news stations across the USA and sing in solidarity. Well, I don't know that he's going to go singing in solidarity, but you know.
And like I say, they say that they can't fire them all. Oh yeah, they can if they want to.
The clip racked up over 3 million views, with more clips jumping on the bandwagon. Is the September 1st strike real? Despite some TikToker users showing the support for the proposed strike, which is not organized by an official organization, some are skeptical about its credibility. The TikToker Crutchers and Spice claims that while they are in support of the general strike, there are still several steps that need to be taken before the appointed date. Several teams and precautions need to be designated in order to pull off a strike, as well as support protesters during the movement. These one-day strikers should be considered one-day strikes, they advise. They should be considered practice runs for making sure you have every single thing in place that you need for longer strikes. However, folks like Jordan X Simone are advising people to flat out withhold from striking on that day at all. She explains while she is in support of the movement in general, the steps that need to be taken in positions September 1st as widely unrealistic time frame. In her video, she calls the general strike poorly planned, poorly executed, and poorly shared, citing that the movement lack of clarity or community safeguards in order to strike to have an impact. It requires careful planning for a long haul movement. As of now, many believe that the general strike is nowhere near prepared enough to tackle that. Anyway, I don't know. I watched a couple of the videos, guys. I mean, there's some there you can definitely go and pay attention to if you want. But there does seem to be some places that are going to be on strike. And I have just a few of them here. High school teachers threaten the strike from September 1st amid stalled salary talks. Again, this is from Times of Israel, guys. The head of the Israel Secondary School Teachers Association, which represents high school staff, Saturday, amid stalled negotiations with Treasury over a new collective salary agreement, schools will not open September 1st. So here we have Israel on some other different kind of reasoning. Teachers are striking and schools will not open up. Then we have also from the Daily Mail, September 1st is Labor Day, of one thing, you know. So we'll see. Full list of strikes planned for September 2023 include the RMT train strikes, Luton Airport walkout, and NHS consultants halt, and more. So railway services, airport staff, train drivers, universities, and doctors are all set to go on strike during the month of September. The set of strikes comes shortly after the RMT and ASLEF train strikes. Junior doctors and airport ground workers went on strike in August. Here's a full list of all strikes, when they are happening, and how they will affect you. Train strikes. RMT has announced the national rail strikes will go ahead in September, affecting thousands of commuters and holiday makers clinging to the last bit of sunshine. It confirmed that approximately 20,000 rail workers are set to take part in a further strike action in September. Now, guys, this is in, I believe, Europe. The union, or UK, the union in which the largest is a kind, confirmed a walkout will take place on September 2. Second, it confirmed that approximately 20,000 rail workers. General Secretary Mike Lynch said the union has received no improved of revised offer from the rail delivery group, so it is called more strike days, one of which will fall in September. The train driver union ASLEF took action during August, carrying out action short of strike, essentially an overtime ban, has now answered a September strike date for September 1st with another overtime ban for the following. Airport strikes. The summer holidays are almost over for schools and university, but that isn't stopping millions of Britons from traveling, except now they will face the burden of strikes. So now we have British holiday makers face more travel chaos. The WIZZ air ground staff in London Luton Airport, one of the busiest airports serving the city, ground workers at the airport announced they will continue to strike in September in a protest over their working conditions. Following the industrial action on August 30th, the union said members will strike on September 6th and through the 13th. This comes after disruption caused by 80 members on August 30th. I don't think August 30th has gotten here, but hey. Then we have junior doctors and consultant strikes. Junior doctor members of the British Association may strike this September, but it all depends on the outcome of a ballot for a new mandate on strike action. The junior doctor members of the British Medical Association may strike this September, but it all depends on the outcome of the ballot for a new mandate on a strike action. The ballot will close on August 31st. The bus drivers are striking. Unite the Union has announced the staff from both First and Stagecoach, some of the city's largest bus operators, will strike this September. The Unite the Union has announced the staff from the First and Stagecoach, some of the city's largest bus operators, will strike. Transport for Manchester says first buses that run in Rochdale, Oldham, Manchester, and Ashton will strike from September 4th to the 8th. IRN BRU delivery driver strikes. Unite represents a number of IRN BRU's disgruntled staff members. Drivers for the IRN BRU are set to strike on September 1st, 8th, 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. AG Bar is the manufacturer that will bear the brunt of these strikes, with its factories located in Scottish towns. University strikes. Honk to defend higher education. Wow. The University and College Union's Higher Education Committee announced new strikes on campus, unhappy with Vice Chancellor's responses. The specific dates are yet to be determined. So have your September's plans been ruined? If you lived in the UK, it's you sounds like you're going to be covered in one of them strikes somewhere. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, I don't know what to think about all this guy's stuff. I mean, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I can't even imagine what in the world is going on here, guys. No one is wanting to work, I guess. At least over in the UK, right? But guys, there are quite a few for your eyes little tweets and stuff that I'll tell you has some videos that are very interesting. I encourage you to go check them out, especially this one with the tunnel and this one here from the CDC. A lot of interesting little things in the for your eyes section that I don't think may, work out here for this platform. So we will leave them there and I will just make the mention and we'll share this if you guys haven't already gotten it from the description. It is right there.
Stop it.
A chopper crashed, one person on the ground, one ground fatal, 4 taken. I just covered the chopper going down. Is that the one you're talking about? Oh no, sister. We'll be praying for you to have energy. Okay. So then we have okay, so let's do our little refresh here because this has been sitting here pretty good. For a minute anyway. Okay, so then we have that was from yesterday, the 27th, but Colombia warns about the dengue outbreak. Let's see, the 28th, Bangladesh. Now we've done read that. Fatalities reached 556. There's the Aleppo airport. And migrant boat sinking off the Greek island leaves 4 dead and 18 rescued in Greece. Then we have public safety incidences here, guys. 3 injured in a shooting in Nazareth, including mayoral candidate. And they have today's date. We did cover that article. And then here is the infamous Bulgarian Alex Petrov was shot. And it also has today's, but it was a couple of days ago, according to the date on the papers there. A gang in Haiti opened fire on a church-led protest, killing at least 7 people, human rights groups say, and that's in Haiti, guys. We also have a factory strikes flare up in China as economic woes deepen. So we have another strikes. Let's see. Then we have all these fires here. A historic building in Annapolis, Royal catches fire. United States, Northwest Miami-Dade. Cement plant. A school in Newark. Let's see. Nearly 70 firefighters battled the fire in Orange County. 1 person injured. 5 children killed in a shack fire with parents out drinking. That's not good. That was yesterday's, guys, in South Africa. Canada, there's 1,127 fires according to this. These are all in Canada, though, guys, and they're at different times. A couple of them are at the same time, but crazy. And then we have the earthquakes, quite a few. 78 for today, all the 28th, and you can look at more. France Alps Rockside halts train service between France and Italy. In India, 2 laborers die as a huge boulder falls on them during a blast. That was 2 days ago, though, And here's some volcano eruption. And again, they still look like the same ones, but they've got different dates and different timestamps, right? And then Pakistan, over 6,000 people evacuated in the past 24 hours from Sutlej River enters the adjacent area. And in Italy, a dozen evacuated after the river floods in Valtellina. And then we also have trains canceled and roads closed as new floods hit Norway. And that was all today, guys. It says Java Sea and the Bali Sea. There was, I guess, a tsunami. It says one update. I know that there was a 7-point earthquake here. Let's see.
Y'all need to stop. No, I said you need to stop.
Not seeing anything. Where was that at, guys? Bali Sea.
Get out of it.
Okay, earthquake, 7-point strikes Bali, Sea, Indonesia. It says no tsunami threat. No tsunami threat. So it says no tsunami threat. So I don't know why that stupid thing all the time says tsunami anyway. We will exit out of that. And okay. And so this is the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, which I don't know if y'all have seen this or not. This was sent to me via my son. On Wednesday, October 4th at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time, every TV, radio, and cell phone in the United States should blare out the distinctive jarring electronic warning tone of an emergency alert, accompanied by a notice along these lines. This is a nationwide test of emergency alert system issued by the Federal Emergency Management Agency covering the United States from 1420 to 1450 hours Eastern Time. This is only a test and no action is required by the public. Now, guys, I'm just curious, what in the world, why is every single solitary TV and phone going to be affected? Massive emergency alert test will sound alarms on the U.S. cell phones, TVs, and radios in October. And that was from USA Today. Let's see if I can. And this was a few days ago, I think. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. Massive emergency alert test. We don't care. Massive alert test will sound alarms on your U.S. cell phone, TVs, and radios in October. This is a test. This is only a test, but it's going to be one very big test on Wednesday, October 4th at 2:20. And this was posted on the 26th. So this was like 2 days ago. And like I said, he did bring me this. Now, this article is not in there, but this is the article. I'm going to share it. Oh, that's cool, Kevin. That's cool, honey. This is, let's see, on Wednesday, October 4th at 2:20 Eastern Time, every TV, radio, and cell phone in the United States should blare out this distinctive jarring electronic warning tone of an emergency alert, accompanied by a notice along these lines. This is a nationwide test of emergency alert system issued by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, covering the United States from 1420 to 1450 hours Eastern Time. This is only a test and no action is required. So I guess they're going to do some kind of national disaster emergency for entire globe, right? I don't know. Anyway, they're trying to say because of in the wake of the horrific fires, when warning sirens that may have alerted people to danger weren't deployed. Federal emergency management coordinations need to make sure the national alert system is still in effect, way to warn Americans about emergencies, natural catastrophes, attacks, and accidents at the national level. Anyway, what will the emergency message say? The exact wording hasn't been released yet, but it will be very likely to be something along these lines. This is a nationwide test. You think no action required. On a cell phone, it will come as a text message. This is a test. No action is needed. When will it happen? October 4th. And that means at 2:20 in the afternoon, or on the East Coast at 1:20. Central time, it'll be 12:20. Mountain time, 11:20 a.m. So people in Alaska will hear this at 10:20 a.m. In Hawaii, the alarms will go off at 8:20 a.m. It says this test will approximately last for a minute. It will occur. It will only go out once, and there will be no repeats. Yeah, we'll see. I've heard we've had others supposedly test, in the past, and not everybody was affected. So we'll see how many people get this one. There was this one that took place back on November 9th, 2011 at 2 p.m., but I don't remember it, guys. So I don't know if you remember it. If you do, let me know. A lot of people say that they had gotten some kind of test a couple of years ago, I think it was. Anyway. Well, most definitely, I would think that, I mean, it's not going to hurt if you get the alert, I would say. I mean, it's just an emergency test, right? I mean, I think it's, every country, nation probably does. I mean, we get emergency tests once a month, right? Everybody that owns a TV will hear an emergency broadcast thing once a month. The first or the last Wednesday of the month or some crap like that. Nah, I don't think anybody needs to hide in their bunker. I mean, like, seriously. But it just depends on a lot of people turn off their emergency alerts. I know a lot of people that don't even have their alerts on their phone. They bypass them. How they bypass them, I don't know, but I guess there's a way to turn them off. And I'm glad that Marfugel shared that, but not everybody watches Marfugel, Kev. But it is good that Marfugel shared it, and a lot of people have to share sometimes the same stuff because, again, we said not everybody watches everybody, and so we got to make sure that everybody that doesn't watch other people gets that same information. Night of the Comet. That's funny, Watchman. That is funny. That's an old movie, isn't it? Blow your speaker out. I hear you. Yeah. If it's just going to be, they're saying it's just going to be a text on the cell phone. So you're not going to hear anything anyway, right? I mean, if it's just a text. But, with all text, I know that we still get Amber Alerts on our phone. So, and there's always a whatever. It's an emergency test, and it always has a sound, which is very annoying. Especially when you're asleep in the middle of the night, you're thinking that, something crazy is about to go down when it's an Amber Alert, But again, if it was my kid, you'd want that Amber Alert to go off. So I don't bequeath them for their emergency broadcasts by no means. But I'm sure a lot of people will have their phones and their TVs turned off because it's not just the phone. It's also going to be the TV. And possibly they'll probably find some way to broadcast it via the internet, Anyway, guys, that is what we have for today. Is it, Drain? That's crazy. I know. I mean, we've had periods of poor poor internet here as well. So I can't tell you why. I just can't. I don't know. I wish I did, but I think it's been sporadic in different places around. I can tell you that because I know other people that sometimes their internet, that don't even have internet. Well, see, that's what I'm thinking. That's why they will probably have some way to put it on the computer, because Roku's like internet, right? Right. That's it, Rip Girl. We don't get nothing except for a an annoying alarm. Say goodbye to your loved ones. Right? Yeah, I hear you, brother. I do indeed. Oh, mercy. Anyway, guys, that's all that I have for you today. I love you all. I do. Oh, wow. So are you still without power? I did cover the tornado the other day, Drain. I did indeed. Were you close to that tornado, brother? And I thought about you. Did. Just curious. I'll wait a second because I know that there's a delay. You just got it back. Wow. Well, and it could be because of all that too, brother. Yeah. Some probably think that. Who knows what that alert will do? Just saying. Who knows? Who knows? Could just be another alert, guys. A lot of people make much to do about nothing sometimes, you know. I think it's kind of weird, but you know, we are weird, aren't we? Anyway, I'm not going to feed in. I'm not for porn fear. I'm not going to try and, you know, gas you up here. I'm going to tell you what the article says, and I'm going to let you use your discernment and your, and, you know, intelligence. And, you know, 5 dead and millions of damage. Yes, brother. I know we did cover that the other day. I think I actually did a thing on Saturday. I'll try and share the link with you, brother. I will. Anyway. And your earthquake alert went off after the. Well, is it ain't that when it's supposed to go off, Carol? I don't know. Or is it supposed to go before? Oh man, these things just aren't, you know, 100%. You know, they just aren't. Anyway, guys, we're gonna eat dinner here. We'll probably have Bible around 8:00, 8:05. Porn fear, you love it. I got you, Kevin. Anyway, we're going to be praying tonight for Florida, guys. And I'm going to be praying about that gas because, you know, we cannot afford not to have petro. And just all these little things happening all at once. I mean, they're diversions, obviously, you know, to keep you looking over here because something else is going on over there, right? I bet, Carol, I bet. A little excitement at least, right? No doubt. Anyway, I love you guys and we appreciate you and hope to see you at 8:00 or 8:05 for Bible. Anyway, much love, guys. God bless.